It starts with small things, forgetting a name, misplacing keys, or walking into a room and not remembering why. At first, it seems normal, but then it happens more often. Words feel stuck, thoughts feel slow, and it's hard not to wonder, is this just age or something worse? For many over 50, these quiet slips bring real fear. Fear of losing independence, fear of burdening loved ones, fear of a fading mind. Brain fog and memory lapses aren't just frustrating, they're frightening. And that fear is what makes understanding the brain's needs more urgent than ever. If this touched something in you, or reminded you of someone you care about, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. It's a small way to stay connected. Stay informed and take care of each other, because every mind matters, and no one should face this alone. Skipping breakfast regularly can quietly wear down the brain's ability to function at its best, especially for adults over 50. After a long night without food, the body wakes up in a fasting state. That means the brain, which relies heavily on glucose for energy, is starting the day without its main fuel. While younger bodies may bounce back quickly, older adults are more vulnerable to these dips in energy. Going too long without replenishing, glucose can affect how the brain processes information, reacts to situations, and even stores memories. Some doctors warn that a lack of morning nourishment can contribute to noticeable cognitive changes over time. When the brain doesn't get the energy it needs, it begins to slow down. This can show up as difficulty concentrating, slower thinking, and mental fatigue. It may even cause people to feel more irritable, anxious, or emotionally unsteady without understanding why. These subtle shifts often get dismissed as just aging, but in many cases the cause is simply the brain being underfed. Research has also shown that regular breakfast eaters tend to perform better on memory and attention tests compared to those who skip it. In one study involving older adults, participants who ate a balanced breakfast had improved short-term memory and faster reaction times throughout the day. This isn't surprising. After all, the brain uses about 20% of the body's energy. If it doesn't receive steady fuel, it begins to struggle, and that can ripple into everyday activities, from managing medications to remembering appointments or processing conversations. Mood is another area deeply affected by low glucose levels. Without breakfast, some older adults report feeling low, restless, or even confused as the morning goes on. This can be especially dangerous for those already facing memory challenges or cognitive decline. Mood swings tied to blood sugar dips can also increase the risk of social withdrawal, making seniors feel isolated or misunderstood. Consistently skipping breakfast can make these problems worse and even lead to misdiagnosis of depression or early dementia. Even for those who don't feel hungry in the morning, doctors often encourage eating something small and nourishing to give the brain a jump start. It doesn't need to be a large meal. A simple combination of protein and healthy carbohydrates, like yogurt with fruit or eggs with whole grain toast, can help maintain mental clarity, stabilize mood, and support long-term brain health. As people age, maintaining cognitive strength becomes more important, not just to avoid disease, but to preserve independence, confidence, and connection to daily life. Skipping breakfast may seem harmless, but over time, it can drain the mind in ways that are hard to reverse. Giving the brain what it needs in the morning isn't just a habit, it's a daily act of care. Watching too much TV without any mental engagement can quietly take a toll on the brain, especially for those over 50. While it might feel like a harmless way to relax, passive screen time actually encourages the brain to slip into a low-energy state. When the mind is simply receiving information without interacting, questioning, or responding, it begins to lose sharpness. Some neurologists compare it to leaving a muscle unused. Over time, it weakens. The same applies to the brain's ability to process, remember, and analyze when it's not actively challenged. Studies have shown that prolonged passive television watching, especially for several hours a day, is linked to slower cognitive processing, reduced memory retention, and even decreased verbal fluency. Unlike reading, puzzles, or conversations, which stimulate multiple areas of the brain. Passive TV watching mostly requires visual and auditory processing, leaving critical thinking areas underused. As a result, the regions responsible for memory, attention, and problem-solving may begin to shrink or underperform over time. Some researchers also note that the type of content matters. Watching complex documentaries or thought-provoking discussions can activate the brain differently than shows that require little focus or thinking. But even then, if there's no engagement, no reflection, no conversation afterward, no questioning of ideas, the brain still settles into a passive mode. Over the years, this habit can erode mental agility and make it harder to concentrate or retain new information. Doctors often warn that a routine filled with hours of unchallenged viewing can contribute to mental dullness and emotional withdrawal. For seniors, this may also lead to increased feelings of isolation, especially if screen time replaces meaningful social interaction. In some cases, older adults who watch a great deal of television alone may even become more forgetful or detached, not because of age itself, but because the brain isn't being kept mentally active. Television isn't the enemy, but watching without thinking, reacting, or discussing can gradually dull the very skills the brain needs to stay sharp. Engaging with content, limiting passive viewing, and choosing mentally stimulating activities in place of long hours on the couch can make a real difference in preserving cognitive strength. The mind, like any muscle, needs to be used, not just entertained. Low daily water intake can quietly impair brain performance, and for older adults, the danger often goes unnoticed. Even mild dehydration, as little as 2% loss of body water, has been shown in research to significantly reduce mental clarity, attention span, and short-term memory. The brain is about 75% water, and it depends on proper hydration to function smoothly. When the body lacks water, the brain struggles to send and receive signals efficiently, which can lead to sluggish thinking, forgetfulness, and mental fatigue. This is especially important for seniors, who often do not feel thirst as strongly as younger people. As a result, they may not realize when their body is dehydrated. Some may drink less intentionally, hoping to avoid frequent bathroom trips or nighttime disruptions. Others may simply forget, especially if they're not in the habit of carrying water or sipping throughout the day. But regardless of the reason, the effect on the brain is real and measurable. Doctors warn that older adults are more sensitive to the cognitive effects of dehydration. In clinical settings, even slightly dehydrated patients have been observed to show signs of confusion, poor concentration, and slower response times. These symptoms can easily be mistaken for early dementia or age-related decline, when in fact, they may simply be due to inadequate fluid intake. In one study, seniors who increased their water intake after being mildly dehydrated showed rapid improvement in memory tests and focus. Attention is also deeply affected. The ability to stay alert, absorb new information, and process conversations relies on consistent hydration. When the brain is underhydrated, it must work harder to perform basic tasks, leaving less mental energy for decision-making or memory recall. This can make daily life feel more overwhelming, leading to frustration and withdrawal from activities that require concentration. Even mood can be impacted. Mild dehydration is linked to increased feelings of irritability, anxiety, and fatigue, all of which can further interfere with mental performance and emotional well-being. For older adults, this cycle can become self-reinforcing, as low energy and poor focus make it less likely they'll remember to drink enough water in the first place. Staying hydrated doesn't require large amounts all at once, just consistent, mindful sipping throughout the day. Water, herbal teas, and water-rich fruits can all contribute. For the aging brain, hydration is not just a health tip. It's a daily necessity that supports clear thinking, sharp memory, and steady mood. Late-night snacking, especially on time sugary foods, can interfere with the brain's most critical nighttime functions. During deep sleep, the brain enters a restorative state where it clears out waste products, including amyloid plaques, protein fragments that, when built up over time, are strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease. This natural detox process is essential for maintaining cognitive health, especially in older adults. But when the body is digesting sugar late at night, this process can be disrupted. Sugar causes a spike in blood glucose and insulin levels, which can interfere with the body's ability to fall into deep, restful sleep. Studies show that high sugar intake before bed can lead to more fragmented sleep, less time in slow-wave sleep, and more nighttime awakenings. This matters because it's during slow-wave sleep, the deepest stage of rest, that the brain does its housekeeping, flushing out toxins and consolidating memory. Without that uninterrupted deep sleep, the brain can't perform these vital tasks efficiently. For seniors, this disruption has an even greater impact. As people age, the amount of deep sleep naturally decreases. Adding sugar before bed only makes it harder to reach and stay in that stage. Over time, this can impair memory, attention, and emotional regulation. Doctors have also noted that poor sleep in older adults is often associated with higher risks of cognitive decline, and diet, especially evening snacking habits, plays a significant role. Even snacks that seem harmless, like cookies, sweetened yogurt, or sugary cereals, can contribute to this problem. The brain needs a calm, steady environment at night to repair and reset. Flooding the body with sugar right before sleep sends mixed signals to the brain and may prolong light sleep while shortening deep sleep. Over time, this robs the brain of its ability to heal itself each night. Avoiding late-night sugary snacks is a small but powerful way to protect long-term brain health. By letting the body rest without extra digestion or sugar spikes, the brain gets a clearer, uninterrupted chance to do what it's built to do: cleanse, restore, and stay sharp. Using your phone in bed before sleeping can quietly disrupt one of the brain's most important nightly functions: memory consolidation. The blue light emitted from phone screens mimics daylight and tricks the brain into staying alert. This suppresses the natural release of melatonin, the hormone responsible for signaling the body that it's time to sleep. Without adequate melatonin, falling asleep becomes harder, and the depth and quality of sleep suffer as a result. This disruption in sleep has a direct impact on how the brain stores and processes memories. During deep sleep, especially in the early stages of the night, the brain organizes information gathered throughout the day and moves short-term memories into long-term storage. If sleep is delayed, shortened, or broken into lighter phases because of phone use, this process can be interrupted. Studies have shown that people who use screens just before bed experience less deep sleep, which is the stage most responsible for strengthening memory and supporting cognitive health. For seniors, this is particularly concerning. As the brain ages, it already struggles to maintain the same depth of sleep experienced in younger years. Introducing habits like nighttime phone use can compound this challenge and further reduce the brain's ability to perform its restorative functions. Neurologists often emphasize the importance of protecting sleep in older adults, not only for physical rest, but for preserving mental clarity, emotional balance, and memory retention. It's not just the light that causes problems. The content, viewed before bed, whether it's news, social media, or messages, can also stimulate the brain emotionally and mentally. This added stimulation makes it harder to unwind and can lead to overthinking or anxiety at bedtime. Even a short period of scrolling can activate the brain in ways that delay its transition into sleep mode. Breaking this habit may feel difficult at first, but the benefits are clear. Creating a screen-free routine before bed allows melatonin to do its job and gives the brain a better chance to enter deep, healing sleep. For memory, mood, and overall brain function, putting the phone down at night isn't just helpful, it's essential. Not socializing enough, or talking less with others, can slowly impact the brain in ways that are often overlooked. Human brains are hardwired for connection, and engaging in conversation is one of the most effective ways to keep the mind sharp. Social interactions stimulate multiple brain areas, including those responsible for memory, language, and emotional regulation. When seniors spend too much time isolated, Without regular conversations, their mental processing can slow down, and this can sometimes even mimic symptoms of early dementia. Studies have shown that adults over 50 who maintain frequent social connections tend to have better cognitive function, including stronger memory and quicker thinking. Socializing, especially in meaningful conversations, forces the brain to stay active, thinking, remembering, and responding. It challenges the brain's language skills, helps with emotional regulation, and keeps the mind flexible. This stimulation is critical for mental clarity and maintaining mental health as we age. When socialization declines, the opposite happens. The brain becomes less active in its processing, leading to cognitive sluggishness. In fact, research has found that loneliness can contribute to the shrinkage of certain brain regions, particularly those linked to memory. Some experts even warn that a lack of social interaction may lead to depression and feelings of helplessness, both of which can further reduce cognitive function. For older adults, isolation doesn't just affect mood, it can have a lasting impact on brain health. What may start as the occasional skipped conversation or quiet day can grow into a pattern of withdrawal, and this can be a dangerous path for cognitive decline. In some cases, seniors who don't engage in enough social interactions begin to show signs of confusion, forgetfulness, and even difficulty following conversations. These symptoms often get dismissed as just aging, but in reality, they are frequently linked to a lack of mental stimulation through communication. It's important to understand that socializing doesn't always have to mean large gatherings. Even one-on-one interactions, phone calls, or chats with neighbors can make a big difference. Regular conversations, whether they're lighthearted or more meaningful, offer the brain the stimulation it needs to stay sharp. So, for the sake of both emotional well-being and cognitive health, making time for socializing each day is more than just enjoyable. It's a vital part of maintaining a strong, healthy mind. Neglecting strength or balance exercises can have a significant impact on brain health, especially for those over 50. Regular physical activity, particularly exercises that focus on building strength and improving balance, increases blood flow to the brain, delivering vital nutrients and oxygen needed for optimal brain function. This enhanced circulation supports memory, concentration, and overall cognitive clarity. More importantly, exercise stimulates the growth of new brain cells, a process known as neurogenesis. This is crucial as the brain naturally experiences some degree of aging, and regular movement helps counteract this decline by promoting new neural connections. When seniors neglect exercise, they are not just affecting their bodies, but their brains as well. A sedentary lifestyle reduces the flow of oxygen and essential nutrients to the brain, which can lead to mental dullness, slower reaction times, and a general decrease in cognitive abilities. Without the challenge of physical activity, the brain becomes less agile, making it harder to focus, recall information, and stay sharp in daily life. Research has repeatedly shown that people who engage in regular physical activity, including strength training and balance exercises, have a lower risk of developing cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. For example, a study found that older adults who practiced balance exercises had better cognitive performance compared to those who did not. The benefits aren't limited to just improving physical strength. They extend to mental health too. Exercise helps reduce stress, anxiety, and even symptoms of depression, all of which can negatively affect brain function if left unmanaged. Balance exercises like Tai Chi or simple standing leg raises are particularly important for preventing falls, a major concern for seniors. But more importantly, they also challenge the brain to coordinate physical movements, keeping both the body and the mind active. Strength exercises, whether lifting weights or performing bodyweight exercises like squats, not only maintain muscle mass, but also help improve brain function by increasing blood flow to the brain. By making exercise a regular part of daily life, seniors can keep their brains healthy, sharp, and more resilient to the effects of aging. It doesn't have to be intense or time-consuming. Even moderate activity done consistently can make a noticeable difference. Maintaining strength and balance isn't just about physical health. It's a key pillar in protecting and enhancing mental clarity as we age. Skipping omega-3 fatty acids in your diet can have a lasting impact on brain health. These essential fats play a crucial role in maintaining the flexibility and communication of brain cells, which is necessary for optimal cognitive function. Omega-3s are a key building block for the brain, particularly in the development and maintenance of cell membranes. Without an adequate supply of omega-3s, brain cells can become stiff, which affects their ability to transmit signals efficiently. This can lead to slower processing speeds, memory issues, and difficulty concentrating, all of which are common in those who are deficient in these fats. Fatty fish, such as salmon, mackerel, and sardines, are among the best sources of omega-3s, but they can also be found in seeds like flax seeds and chia seeds, as well as walnuts. These foods provide the brain with docosahexaenoic acid, DHA, and eicosapentaenoic acid, EPA, the two most important types of omega-3s. Studies have shown that higher levels of DHA and EPA in the brain are associated with better memory, clearer thinking, and a lower risk of cognitive decline. On the other hand, a deficiency in omega-3s is linked to several mental health and cognitive issues, including brain fog, depression, and even increased risk of dementia. Seniors in particular may find themselves at greater risk of omega-3 deficiency, as their dietary habits may not always include these brain-boosting nutrients. Omega-3s are not naturally produced by the body, so they must be obtained from food or supplements. Without a consistent source, the brain may not function at its best. Research has shown that people with low omega-3 levels are more likely to experience mood disorders like depression, as well as memory problems. These issues can gradually worsen, making it harder to maintain an active, engaged lifestyle. The link between omega-3s and brain function is so significant that doctors often recommend increasing omega-3-rich foods to help protect against age-related cognitive decline. Regularly incorporating fatty fish or seeds into meals can help maintain brain flexibility, support memory, and even improve mood. For seniors looking to enhance mental clarity and emotional health, omega-3s are a simple yet vital addition to the diet. Multitasking may seem like a way to get more done, but for older adults it can actually reduce productivity and strain the brain. When juggling multiple tasks at once, the brain is forced to switch back and forth between them, which scatters focus and makes it harder to retain information. This constant shifting can lead to short-term memory lapses, as the brain struggles to process and store information effectively. In the long run, multitasking can tire the brain, leaving it feeling mentally drained without accomplishing real progress on any task. Research has shown that the brain's ability to process several tasks simultaneously diminishes with age. Unlike younger brains, which are more adept at handling multiple things at once, older adults are better off focusing on one thing at a time. When the brain is overstimulated, it can cause cognitive overload, leading to mistakes, forgotten details, and a sense of frustration. Tasks that require deep thought or attention, like reading, problem-solving, or learning something new, suffer the most when multitasking. For seniors, avoiding multitasking is not just about improving efficiency. It's about preserving mental energy and focus. Focusing on one task at a time allows the brain to work more efficiently, improving both the quality and speed of mental processing. This leads to a greater sense of accomplishment and fewer memory errors. By simplifying tasks and concentrating fully on each one, seniors can enhance their cognitive health and mental clarity without the overwhelming strain of multitasking. Relying too much on GPS or phone notes can slowly weaken your brain's ability to remember and navigate the world around you. When you constantly depend on technology to find your way or remind you of tasks, your brain stops engaging its internal memory and spatial skills. The brain has an incredible ability to remember directions, locations, and details, but when we rely on technology for these things, we stop exercising those areas of the brain. Just like any muscle that isn't used, the memory muscle can weaken over time. Spatial memory, which helps you remember routes, landmarks, and how to get from one place to another, is a key function that keeps your mind sharp. Studies show that those who regularly navigate without technology are better at recalling places, directions, and distances. When you use a GPS or phone notes, the brain doesn't have to engage in these processes, leading to a gradual decline in memory recall ability. Additionally, constantly depending on your phone for reminders reduces the need for active thought. You stop practicing remembering appointments or to-do lists, which can negatively impact your recall and cognitive flexibility. It's important to keep challenging your brain by trying to remember routes or details, even in small ways. Strengthening. This memory muscle through daily practice can help maintain mental sharpness and spatial awareness, preventing reliance on technology from dulling cognitive abilities over time.